Look at this. How
I'm
come
live.
it's our show before the Christmas holidays, and you and I are both wearing gray hoodies?
Yeah. I don't have any Christmas themed stuff except, check out this a new hat I got, Rob. I think you'll love it. Check this out. I'm a big fan. I can't wait for this movie to be like the new DCU.
What? You got
you
the
know.
wicked Black Adam hat?
It's going to be really exciting to see where this franchise goes.
I think The Rock is gonna hit the hierarchy of power. The DC universe is gonna definitely change.
So you're saying this hat was an ill-advised purchase, and I was late to the party?
I think you just convinced people it's a Shazam hat.
Or better yet,
no, it's pre-marketing for the Flash movie coming out in June.
No, I could be like, I just like electricity.
There you go.
I like storms. I like thunder.
I'm an electrical contractor. That's all.
I got a family of contractors, and this is like their jam. So I'm wearing this cool hat to celebrate my love of electricity and all things powered by lightning. These were on sale right before.
From where?
It's an Under Armour hat because Rock has a deal with Under Armour, right? They went on sale for 40% off or something like that. And my brother picked one up and picked one up for me. And then now all this everything is in disarray. So
I will say though, the hat looks pretty sick. I didn't really, you know what? There's an Under Armour outlet by my house, and I'm gonna go tomorrow because I would actually rock that hat.
Yeah, it's a nice hat. I anticipate having to explain to some people what it is, right? What happened in this movie. They're gonna be like, either they're gonna be like, it's a shame that this movie is not going anywhere, or they're gonna be like, oh man, that movie was great.
No, it is going somewhere. It's going straight to streaming.
Straight to streaming. No tweets by The Rock whatsoever that it was dropping on streaming, by the way, folks. So you had
and apparently he also unfollowed the Black Adam movie Instagram and Twitter accounts and Warner Brothers Pictures as well. So I think The Rock is really upset. He's
petty.
He's yeah.
He must be really upset, although we have seen kind of a pattern in him that if you burn him, you are dead. You're dead to The Rock, which I don't know if to respect that or feel bad. I still feel bad. There's people that worked on the project. Folks, if you didn't hear, Black Adam 2 seemingly is not going to happen. And The Rock is seemingly done with DC entertainment. Maybe we'll see him in a Marvel movie soon. And the whole Henry Cavill thing. And I think that's going to come up again in the news, folks, because nothing else happened this this weekend, I think, big news-wise. So, yeah. All right, welcome to the Sidekick Show. It is Monday, December 19th. What happened to 2022? I don't know. We wait another week or two, and we're going to find out. That's it. It's a wrap, Rob. Tuck in 2022, and we're looking onward and upward into 2023.
Sorry, the reason if I look distracted, it's because apparently some people are saying that Henry is a story that just broke on the Direct saying that Henry Cavill fired his manager, Danny Garcia, but apparently The Rock just took to Twitter to say that's not necessarily true.
So that he'll speak up on his movie dropping on streaming suddenly and shockingly, I guess. He's not going to make a peep about. Michelle, what's up, Michelle? Michelle does say The Rock can't open a film by himself. We didn't really get into this during the podcast. If you guys watch the Heroes Web podcast as well, we drop new episodes every pretty much Thursday or weekly at least. We talked about the whole Henry Cavill quits DC or gets cut from DC, or how would you phrase that, Rob?
His services were no longer required.
Yeah, he got pink slipped or whatever the color of the slip is from DC. And I think, I don't know if we want to save that discussion for a little bit later, Rob. Rock opening movies himself and things like that.
We should probably introduce who we are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
2.5 years.
This fine. Oh man, the non-reverse thing really messes me up now. I don't know if you hit mirror. So this is a very good gentleman, Rob Gaudette here. And I am John Ho with 7 O's, no E. What's up, folks? You are joining us Monday night, and hopefully you're gonna have some laughs, or you're at least gonna have some fun. Sit down with us. We're gonna chat about all kinds of random stuff. So keep your questions ready for later, or ideas or topics and musings. I think that Rock one is a good one, Michelle, and I think we're going to have to circle back to that And I saw Lewis got some other fun ones here. So we're going to circle back to that. But we do like to check in with y'all first thing Monday and see what you got up to last weekend, earlier today, whatever you want to define it as, what you're watching, what you're enjoying, what was good, what was bad. So Rob,
hey buddy,
I think you got to see one of the biggest events of our generation this past weekend, and I don't know if that's going to be on your list of stuff that you did this week, but you folks, let us know in the comments if you got up to anything new. Maybe you watched. We got a lot of love for Wednesday last week. I think I'm going to finally get to it this week, and other shows like that. But Rob, how was your week?
My week was good. Before I get to the big, earth-shattering cinematic spectacular, I will say, first of all, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. This is as John said, our end of Christmas stuff, or the week before Christmas. We're just hanging out with everybody, talking about our favorite Christmas stuff, and just shooting the shit. And this week, John, I needed to get more into the spirit. And I know we watched a couple Christmas themed movies. Here we did Jingle All the Way, Bad Santa, and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. But I needed some more, John. So this week I watched Christmas stalwarts such as A Christmas Story. Man, that show movie still makes me laugh. And then I threw in Lethal Weapon because, of course,
did you see, Rob? Did you see on Netflix today trending top 10 movies? What do you think was in there?
I don't know. I didn't see.
Lethal Weapon 2 was in that mix. I don't know if it was just added to Netflix or if that one has more of a Christmas theme.
It has no Christmas theme.
Yeah, but I was pleasantly surprised. I went down to movies. I was scrolling through. There's a new Christmas movie. There's a bunch of other. Yeah. And then I think it was number 7 or number 8. Lethal Weapon 2. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
And then, of course, Batman Returns, John. One of the better comic book Christmas movies.
Okay, so we paused last week and said, hey, you know what? Maybe we'll continue our quest for the greatest Christmas movie, okay? So you watched a bunch more. Do you choose any of those as your 2022 Christmas movie of the year? No? Is Batman Returns top? You said you just watched that most recently. Is that how you're going to cap it?
Yeah, but I still have more to go. I still have Die Hard, and I'm gonna rewatch Christmas Vacation with the kids, and I think we have Elf. So we got a few more movies left to go.
Okay. Is Home Alone on there at all?
Oh yes, Home Alone. The kids want to watch. We're running out of time, John. We've got what's going on this week. Everybody is out in the evenings this week. Like if it's not dance classes or skating or whatever, everybody's out every evening this week. So it's gonna be really, really tough to get to these movies. But I did go see, John, on Friday night. I carved out about 3.5 hours out of my evening and watched Avatar: The Way of Water. And now you haven't seen it yet, have you?
I have not. I was looking forward to a real person's review, and here we have Rob Gaudette, folks, live and in color, with a real person review of Avatar, which I think it did pretty well over the weekend, right, Rob? It looks like 134 million.
150 or 140 million or whatever.
Yeah. And it opened at 50 something. It's kind of declining day by day, but you go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those are days that are less busy. So we'll see if it resurges this weekend. Although we have that big thing called Christmas, and World Cup did wrap, I believe, right?
Yep, it did.
Yeah. So see if it goes upwards. But yeah, let's hear your review. Rob, do you have a spoiler-free review? You guys in the comments, if anyone else saw it, let us know. A spoiler-free quick check-in if we should go see this event of our generation.
Yeah, I will give you a very quick, but I will say that it may, John, appear on our best of lists.
Oh,
but will it appear on the best or as one of the most disappointing, or on both? We'll have to find out. So definitely keep your notification bells on, because we will be recording our best of 2022 over the holidays.
Stay tuned. If you don't follow the channel, please subscribe. We will be dropping on the Heroes World podcast our best most biggest disappointments, I believe, is one. And I think we're leaving a little room for guilty pleasure. So everyone start working on your list, and hopefully you'll join us for that episode. So Rob,
Okay,
let's
so
go.
let me give you a very brief, a brief for those who haven't seen Avatar. Okay, the first question people are gonna say is, should I go see it in the theater? Yes, you should go see it in the theater. If you have any intention of going, then you should see it. Should you see it in 3D? You have to see it in 3D. I think it definitely adds to the enjoyment. This doesn't feel like the last movie in 3D I think I saw, John, was Multiverse of Madness. This feels like
Yeah.
way, and it feels
You didn't
so
see Dune?
natural.
Was Dune in
This
3D?
3D. Hmm?
Was Dune in 3D?
No.
No.
Not that I saw, but Multiverse was in May, so that was the last 3D movie I saw. This feels like Avatar feels like a natural 3D. Like you don't notice it. It's just so fluid. Do you know the judder setting on your television? Do you know what that is? Judder?
I have not.
So it's like, that smooth motion, that cinema motion that they have on your TV.
Okay, like it's. I think they call it something else though. Don't they call it screen smoothing or something?
Yeah,
like that?
that's another
motion
word.
smoothing.
Yeah. So, anyways, this movie is like that, but like cranked up, because this is like, I think he does it at 120 frames per second. So it is like, it's like when you're first watching it, it's a lot of like, oh wow, this is like cinema smooth, or your judder is turned up really high because things are just really like, it seems unnatural.
Mm-hmm.
It is gorgeous to look at though. Like this movie is fundamentally gorgeous. Like you're just like in awe of everything that he's accomplished. But does it need to be 3 hours and 10 minutes? Because admittedly, John, like I think I've seen people online, and he has gone on record saying, how do you can't edit because things are linear. If this happens, means this happens, this happens. Honestly, it's the way of the water. There's a lot of swimming. But there's a lot of swimming, John. I don't need to, like, you have shown me the brilliance and the magnificence of your creation, your underwater world, and it looks effing gorgeous. But it's an hour of swimming, and I don't need an hour of swimming. But the last act of the movie, the last hour or so is amazing. It for me kicked that score for me back up for the movie, because I was kind of like,
okay.
Oh, and if you do plan on going and you're thinking, well, what if I need a pee break? I'm gonna tell you right now, anywhere between the 0-minute mark to the hour and 37-minute mark, you are more than welcome to go pee, and you're not going to miss anything detrimental to the.
It's like a nature channel, and the whole first hour is like, oh, here's the world, in case you forgot.
Yeah, like there are some interesting things, but you're likely not going to miss anything that's going to be detrimental to the plot. Which, admittedly, John, again, I don't know what the plot was. My son came out of this movie and he's like, they're making more of these, right? And I'm like, yeah, there's like 3 more coming down the pipe. And they set up a lot in this movie that they leave like little dangling threads. You're like, what was that about? And you start to realize that this movie, all it does is really set up the future of the franchise. And you're like, well, what the hell? So if you can get all past that, it's worth your money. It's worth going to see. I enjoyed it more than I expected, but only because that last hour and 20 minutes. But I do bow down to James Cameron for how great it looks, but then I'm also pissed off because he's throwing his big blue dick on the table saying, I'm making you watch 3 hours of water. Isn't amazing? I don't need to see 3 hours of it. So
I'll watch a 3-hour Terminator 2 cut. I think it does exist. But so how hype were you going into the movie, Rob, or were you just kind of like,
I was meh because
because I remember you were on the fence the whole week going, I don't know if I should cancel these tickets.
Yeah. And I think because Avatar 1 was like, I felt like that was transformative. We didn't really have good 3D movies up until that point. If you remember, John, 3D at that was the blue and red.
Oh man, I used to love those.
that was our 3D. We didn't have, and so I think that what made the first Avatar movie so enthralling and enjoyable was watching it in 3D. And I think as time has gone on, and if you've just watched it normally, you're like, oh, but it's lost that magic that you had in the theater.
Yeah.
It doesn't really carry over into this movie as much because we've already seen it. We've seen it, right? But it does look like it's 12 years old. A difference, right? It looks fantastic. And there's a lot to like in this movie.
I'm interested to hear now if you go back and watch Avatar 1, if you're kind of like, no, this doesn't cut it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'd be very interested to find out if this movie does the same box office as the first one did. My gut tells me it will not.
Yeah, well, it's a whole new climate. There's so much competition out. During the period of when Avatar 1 came out and this came out, you had the whole MCU, which has drastically changed the entire moviescape, right? Like, imagine that. The first movie came out before MCU even existed, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So Rob, the first movie I saw in 3D, I think I've mentioned this on the podcast before, Conan, starring Jason Momoa and Ron Perlman. Is it better than that?
Yes. It's definitely better than that.
Yes. So you're saying it's the best 3D you've seen. Do you have like a runner up? Like what previously was the best 3D
Honestly,
you've seen?
no. Well, I would still say, and I will
Avatar
go. I
1?
will die in the hill fighting. Dread 3D.
Oh yes,
is absolutely hands down. Like, I have a 3D TV, and I will go get those damn batteries for those glasses, and I'll throw that movie on a couple times a year and watch it in 3D. I absolutely love it. Dread in 3D is by far just because they filmed it in 3D. It wasn't post converted, right?
Yeah.
So I actually, and as much as I like Gravity for the 3D, the look of 3D,
yeah,
I still think Dread beats it by far. So.
Yeah. I wish I saw Dread in 3D. I think the two movies that I saw that I really liked in 3D was Terminator 2 got a re-release to 3D,
right?
Which they didn't do much to. They just kind of pulled the background out a little bit and stuff like that. I thought that was a nice twist. And actually, Gemini Man. I don't know if you saw Gemini Man in 3D. Amazon. Yeah, it was actually pretty decent. Like, I guess they put a lot of effort into it because they weren't sure if the movie was going to do well. Right. But anything else, Rob? No. It sounds like nobody in our chat saw Avatar either.
No,
or has no desire to see it.
And I don't want people to be dissuaded by my quick review of it because I'm not giving anything away. I'm just giving you the experience of it. It is worth seeing, and I'm happy that I saw it. And it does stick with you. But for two reasons. One, because you're enamored by how amazing a lot of it is technologically. And number two, with what a waste of a lot of that time was.
So if they released like if you don't have if they released another cut for busy individuals or not committed individuals, that would be an interesting tactic. I don't know if they've ever released a shorter cut of a movie.
No, well, listen, James Cameron apparently submitted a 9-hour cut of Avatar 3 to the studio executives, and then he was like, and you're going to pay for all of the VFX on this to get it completed, and then I'll edit it? And I'm like, what, 9 hours? No, it's not. This guy's out of control.
Yeah, I'm sure there would be some hardcore people that would be down for it. And it would be interesting to spend that's almost the equivalent of like your daytime hours in this world, I guess. Come on.
Would you really listen? I will say the people who love this movie are completely entrenched in this. Like the way that people love Star Wars, the way people love Lord of the Rings, I can see after these 5 movies, people will want to live in Pandora. Do you know what I'm saying? I can see that.
I've heard people, their Christmas tradition is to watch Lord of the Rings 1, 2, 3, uncut, super long editions, the whole day. I can't think of something that I think maybe Transformers, the animated movie, when I was a kid. You would put your VHS tape on in the morning when you're playing with your toys. And you just leave it on loop the whole day. So that's probably the closest I got. Michelle shouts out, if Howard the Duck 9-hour cut exists, we must watch it. Well, I think she said she wouldn't even. And if you are new to the show, Michelle is Howard the Duck's biggest fan. Yeah, hands down. I think that award goes to you, Michelle. So I guess you didn't have any time for anything else because Avatar took up your whole weekend.
Yeah. How about you, Bud? What'd you get up to?
Oh man. So most of the week I was pretty busy. I'm trying to think if I got to watch anything new and exciting. I don't think so. We did have at the shop, we had Mike Del Mundo in the house. And the artist, the graffiti artist, I forgot what his last name is, but his name is Alex. I will share his contact on Instagram. But they did a collaboration cover for the newest Miles Morales comic book. And it is like a 20-foot tall, because this Alex guy, he's a graffiti artist. So he did all this art. I think there's a Kingpin and all this kind of stuff. And then Mike did the Miles Morales hanging down. So if you didn't see that artwork, definitely check out our website. I'll make sure to repost it on my Instagram. I don't know why I didn't do that yet. But it was a lot of fun to see those guys in there. They were signing for everybody. Everybody got their books signed. Some people brought out older issues that they had, Elektra, Weird World, a whole bunch of stuff that Mike has been known for. And they all got nice signatures. A couple of them got a couple quick sketches, but we didn't want to take up Mike's entire day, so he wasn't doing full out sketches. So he will be back, folks. And we do have some of his new stickers. If you haven't been to his store, I will actually add his link as well. You can go to the store, you can buy his prints. He had really nice full-size prints, and he had some remarked versions where he would draw sketches on them and stuff like that. So some really cool stuff there. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out. And then I think that's it. I'm trying to think. I feel like I did something else, and it's completely escaped my mind. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's gone. It's gone.
Like a fart in the wind. It's gone.
Yeah, no. You know what? I watched the rest of Ted Lasso, but that's old news. That show came out in 2021, and so I'm like way behind the party. Oh, you know what? I did watch Emancipation, Will Smith's new movie.
Oh, okay.
And it was actually pretty fun. I think I don't
think it's meant to be fun, John.
Okay, it was a well done piece of cinema, I would say. It is advertised as not just another slave movie, I believe. It's more of like a chase kind of like a fugitive type thing. So if you haven't watched it, I think it's worth checking out, depending on what you think of Will Smith. And if you don't subscribe to Apple TV, check out Will Smith's Instagram. He's giving away 2 months free of Apple TV. So at least you can take that. You don't have to watch Emancipation. There's no stipulation that locks it in and makes you watch it. And you can watch a whole host of other shows on Apple Plus, which are some really good shows.
Including For All Mankind.
Yeah. All Mankind. Yeah, that's next on my list, Rob. So let's check in with the chat and see what else people watched. Scott says he watched Black Adam on HBO Max. So, and he was, I believe he was meh about it. So I suspect a lot of people are going to watch it on streaming and are probably not going to be as thrilled with it as the theater experience. I feel like we got a little bump in the theater with the loud sound.
Are you going to go back and rewatch it, John?
I don't think so. I might watch scenes.
Okay.
I do like the JSA's appearance in the movie. So I might go back and watch that.
And Cyclone.
Yeah. No, I like Aldous Hodges, Hawkman, and everybody, of course, like Dr. Fate, James Bond himself, the Golden Eye. I don't know if his code name is the Golden Eye. It's the Golden Eye, right?
What?
No.
Here's Brosnan?
Yeah. His nickname was
James
Goldeneye?
Bond doesn't have a nickname called Goldeneye, John. That was the name of the... You have no idea.
Steve says he's in on the Street Fighter 6 closed beta. I'm mad jealous. If you guys don't know, I really love fighting games. Street Fighter is my jam. So Steve, you got to let me know what you think of this game. And we gotta throw down, man. It's been a long while. Scott said his kids binged Wednesday. So I assume they liked it. Yeah, everyone's liking it. I've heard it compared to Veronica Mars season 1.
Okay.
If you've ever seen that one, which is kind of like a murder mystery, but also has the whole kind of teen. I don't want to say teen drama because I feel when I say teen drama, it's kind of negative, but there is like a teen element, like teen issues that they're dealing with that actually makes, I think, for a fun show. I don't know what age you hit when you stop caring about, teen drama. But
it doesn't matter. I watched Veronica Mars as just a few years ago. So like I'm 46. Maybe I was late 30s or early 40s when I first watched it, and it was at that point already way past when it was originally out. And I really enjoyed the first season. So
that Veronica Mars season 1 is one of the, I think, the best pieces of television that we have out there.
Yeah.
So let's keep going. Lewis has said he's building some Star Trek blue bricks. I guess that is a non-Lego product.
That's right.
Get your blue bricks on, folks. Michelle said she saw Fablemans.
The new Spielberg movie,
and loved every minute of it. All right, Steven Spielberg. So that's in theaters now, Rob? Is it getting? I guess it's getting demolished by Avatar, or a completely different audience, I would assume.
Completely different audience. Yeah.
Lewis said he finished Santa Claus's limited series. I did see a banner for that pop up. I have no attachment to this Tim Allen Santa Claus thing.
No, and you know what? I actually kind of liked the first movie when I first saw it. I saw it a few times. My sister-in-law is a big fan. But then I saw, and now Lewis can probably correct us in the chat, but I saw some clips of this new one, and his face looks so plastic, like he's like a doll. And I'm like, what? I'm out. So zero interest.
Zero interest. Scott checked out Marvel Midnight Suns on PC, and he says he's enjoying it. That is a new game from, I don't remember what studio it is, but it's an RPG with type like a card element or something like that. I do want to check that out as well. So maybe during Christmas I'll be able to get around to that. Sorry, I'm just going to try and get back to some of the other comments that we might have missed. Steve's talking about Force Awakened. Did you like Force Awakened, Rob? The first foray back into Star Wars?
I did, man. I did.
Yeah.
I did like that Star Wars Episode 7, right? Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a hell of a lot of fun. I know people have complaints about it. They're like, it's the same thing. As a New Hope, it's so stupid. But I actually really enjoyed. I thought it was a lot of fun. Out of all of those, the new trilogy, out of those three, that was probably my favorite one of them. I just thought it was a hell of a lot of fun, man.
Yeah. I actually quite liked that first movie, and I wish they stuck with whatever original storyline that they were going to do. So at least we would have a story that made sense over the course of 3 movies. And maybe style-wise, it would have worked. Fraser said he was late to the show because he's playing Marvel Snap. I am loving Marvel Snap, Rob. I don't know if you've installed it yet for you to play in your free time, but it's a lot of fun. It's
all that free time.
Yeah. It's a mobile game on your phone or laptop or tablet or PC that actually has a lot of board gaming elements. So it's got like some strategy in there instead of just kind of grinding away on it, which I like. And I think we'll have to jump back. I see. Yeah. So here, Steve says SF6 is very good. So yeah, he's talking about us. We used to at the store. We used to run. They called them casuals, where you would just show up and fight. You would street fight, but in video game form. Because it wasn't no fight.
First rule of Heroes World Fighting.
Yeah.
I used to play Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
Way back in the old arcade days, and that machine was everywhere, right? You see it at the theater and this and that, but there was a burger place down the street from my high school, close to where I lived.
Yeah.
And we would go there at lunch, and we would just be dropping quarters while they're making our grilled burgers, and just be playing Street Fighter 2, right? Like, I loved Street Fighter 2 when it came out, man. I mean, that was early part of the 90s, like 93-ish, 92. So yeah, man, it was a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah. I remember the arcade by my area had a bootleg copy of Street Fighter. And it would do stuff like your character would like fly into the air and stuff like that. There's all these weird bootleg variations of Street Fighter 2 that are pretty funny. I don't know what they were called. But I also do remember a Mortal Kombat machine at the pizza joint. Mine was a pizza joint, pizza/wings joint that people loved to jam on. So shout outs. What's up, Sarah? I see Sarah.
What's up, Sarah?
In the chat. Yeah, thanks for joining us.
They're buried under 19 feet of snow.
Yeah. All right. Hey, what's up? Hey, Paul's in the house. What's up, Paul? How you doing, man? Good friend of the shop. We're going to be playing some Warhammer Kill Team soon. But Rob, let's wrap up what we did on the weekend. Guys, if you mentioned anything else, we'll kind of cycle back and see if we can get back to there. But we want to keep the conversation rolling. So again, if you're joining us, this is a Sidekick show. We're going to have some fun tonight. We're going to chat about some random things. I'm going to show you some cool new stuff we got at the shop.
Wicked.
Rob may or may not have new news or old news that's still
old
new.
News.
Yeah.
Gary news. There's no news like good news like Gary news.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Tongue twister, Rob. All right. So let me show you some cool things. If you're looking for a last minute Christmas gift, and what comes with a last minute Christmas gift is usually it has to be good, right, Rob? Usually if you've left a gift to the last minute,
you've got to get
and you're desperate for it, you got to get something big.
Yeah.
It's got to be
it can't be a funnel.
Yeah, it's got to be a little bit pricey. No one goes, I need that last minute box of chocolates.
Right.
So I'm going to show you some ideas, some very cool stuff we got at the shop recently, and it's pretty much primarily from Sideshow collectibles. So let's rock and roll. Thank you everybody for sticking with us. So Rob, first thing on the docket, I've got a 1/4 scale Nightcrawler. So Sideshow, it's been a minute. The pandemic, I feel like they didn't release anything, but their jam. Their main source of kind of popularity, income, attention was the 1/4 scale premium format statue. Sorry, someone's blowing up my phone, making sure it's not an emergency. Although, who has a comic book emergency, right, Rob? Who has that?
John, I need that new Spider-Man.
I bet the corner on this giant size X-Men. Life is over. Anyways, this is a great statue. This will cost you around the $600, $700 range for these premium formats usually. They're really cool. I've got this one in stock. I also do have this Venom, which is absolutely amazingly detailed, pretty crazy looking, and there will be a matching Carnage. So if you're a big Venom Carnage fan, not necessarily a fan of Venom Carnage the movie, but these two characters are two of Marvel's most popular characters. I do have this guy in stock. He is humongous. So
look at him holding Rip Spider-Man's mask.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. I didn't even notice that. That's dope. Yeah, these are really cool. I also did get this Thor. Look how cool this Thor is with the cloth cape. This is very classic, definitive
Yeah,
Thor. Look at the size of his arm. That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Once again,
And
they're using Scott Graziano's
yeah, they're stealing your
body model.
arms, Scott. Actually, this one's sold. Sorry, folks, I'm sold out of this guy here. Breaking news.
Great. That's what the text
I'm
was.
gonna tease you with that one. So you got to get in on the notification squad and your pre-orders on that. So yeah, check those out. And then I'm gonna show you guys some hot toys. So we've got Echo from the Bad Batch. I know, Rob, you weren't a huge fan of the Bad Batch, and me neither. But this is
Nope.
cool because the style that they did the Hot Toys in. So Hot Toys is a very famous manufacturer from overseas, Hong Kong, I believe, to be exact, that do 1/6 scale dolls. Basically, they're dolls, but let's call them action figures or posable, whatever. But these
Yeah.
characters were looked like a kid's animation, correct? Right, Rob? Yeah, but now this one is a more serious take on these characters. So this is kind of our first chance to see these in potentially what could be a movie look or a TV show
Or
look.
TV series look, yeah.
Yeah. So these
I mean, 'cause
these are
that face is just so like uber realistic based. It's completely different than the animated series, right?
yeah. So like the animated series was like a lot, just your 3D animated. So this is really cool to see these characters done like this style. And you can bet your bottom dollar, or is that the phrase? Bet your bottom
Yeah,
dollar?
it is, Annie.
Yeah, I bet your bottom dollar. That they're going to do the entire team and probably more characters from this. So definitely check that out. I've got a bunch of these in stock. These range in the $300 range.
Well, and I
Uh,
believe John, that Bad Batch season 2 comes out in the new year.
oh, yeah.
You're
I,
welcome.
I I don't know if I'm going to go back and check it out, Rob. I don't think it was
Oh,
for
I
me
definitely will
or
not.
us. Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, I'll have to catch up maybe when it's a little more established, a little more attached to the characters. Yeah, Paul says he used to have arms like that. You do still, Rob. I mean, Paul. You have to cut the sleeves off your shirt to show them off, though. Jonathan Yo says there's a trailer. But check out this guy. Do you recognize this guy?
Yeah, the name is right next to him as Cable.
Yeah,
Josh
played
Brolin.
by
What's that? Yeah, Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin. So
Yeah.
what do you think of this likeness to this Cable? Like,
It doesn't look like Josh. It looks like Josh Brolin's cousin.
it looks like younger. I think it looks younger than he did in the movie a little bit, but it looks good.
I like the hair. It
Yeah,
looks like he's
yeah,
got Gord's hair.
yeah. This is a hairstyle that became very popular during the pandemic, which is you
Yeah.
shave off the sides and you just pull the back.
Yeah.
So yeah, looks great. We also have this one, your boy, Winter Soldier, aka what's he called now? Is he called Winter Soldier anymore?
White Wolf maybe, or I don't know what the hell he's
Okay,
called.
yeah. So Winter Soldier. So this is the new version from the Falcon Winter Soldier TV series, and there will be Captain America Anthony Mackie version coming out as well with the full wings and the Captain America outfit. So this is pretty cool. I wonder if the arm detaches so you can give it to Rocket Raccoon. I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, very nice.
We'll see about that. And we got this guy. This is a reissue. So what happened is some Hot Toys became extremely popular and completely sold out, became worth a lot of money on the secondary market. So they are reissuing some of these and they are updating them. So they're kind of integrating some of their new technology in and different paint apps, maybe different head sculpts. But this is the War Machine from Iron Man 2. And I think this is arguably the best War Machine design that they've had in the MCU. This is probably my favorite armor that they did. And probably the best part of Iron Man 2. I don't know if we
Yep. No, I would agree. Yeah.
Maybe you could argue the introduction of Black Widow Scarlett Johansson in Iron Man 2, but her character was a little different in that one, I think.
Yeah.
Will you ever go back and watch Iron Man 2, Rob?
Yeah, I have. I've gone back quite a few times and watched it. It's one of those ones that there's like really cool moments in the movie. So you throw it on the background while you're working and then you stop and watch like the race scene, right? The F1 race scene when he has,
Mickey Rourke.
Yeah. And all of a sudden the car's being sliced in half and stuff like that. And they throw out the suitcase and he steps on it. Like that's cool, right? Like that whole scene and sequence is awesome. So yeah, but
yeah. Sorry, I agree with you, Paul. I don't think this is the greatest likeness to Sebastian Stan, right? But sometimes from different angles. Yeah. Hey, look, we got a very own Gord figure. But yeah, sometimes it's the angle. Sometimes if you get it from a certain angle and stuff, it looks like him or the character. Or sometimes they do go along some changes along the way. But this one's out now, so unless the photo is old,
But that Don Cheadle face looks pretty solid.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. They got him in there in the armor. That is probably a magnet holding it open, so you can usually open and close it, and it does have light up eyes. So really cool. And this one will have metal parts. So I think this is one of the best ones that I got in it with this patch. And then the last one I'm going to show you, Rob, is this one here. This is the Spider-Man 2020 suit. I think it's from the video game, right? You might have to clue me in here.
So yeah, I don't know. He looks like Spider-Man meets Daft Punk.
Yeah, exactly. Look, the head like lights up, and it's actually got LED lights, so you can kind of like light them up differently. Yeah, it's totally a Daft Punk take on Spider-Man. But they're doing a whole bunch of these. They just did the Miles Morales with the boat in the bodega with the cat in his backpack and stuff like that. Paul talks about Punisher gets the War Machine armor. They do have a Hot Toys of the Punisher and the War Machine armor, and there's a matching Deadpool coming out. So if you like Iron Man armors, get out your checkbooks. Thank you, everybody. So we've got tons and tons of stuff at the shop. Hopefully you can stop in before Christmas. If you need any gifts, hit me up. Or if you see something cool online and you're looking for a place to pick it up, hit me up with a message. Odds are I can probably get a hold of it or pre-order it for you. But yeah.
Yeah, and you guys don't have a lot of time left. That's the reality. Saturday is Christmas Eve. So when are you guys open until?
Christmas Eve, I believe we are going to be at least there from 12 to 4. Okay. Don't hold me on it. We kind of go with the flow on a day like that. If it's really busy, I'll stay a little bit later. If it's pretty quiet, I'll take off. Sometimes people hit the bigger shops, like the malls and stuff before hitting us. So definitely come to us. You won't have to fight any crazy lineups. And I think we've got way cooler stuff than your average mass market mall.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's the cool stuff we got at the shop. As always, just hit me up if you need anything. Rob, can I toss it to you for any news? Is there any breaking news at all? Is there anything else that
can't we get through the end of the year without DC news every week, man?
Yeah. Yo, have you gotten any of this cranberry ginger ale, Rob? This is a very Canadian thing.
A bunch of it last Christmas, and it's still in the fridge, I think.
You should hook that up. I love this stuff.
I think it's gone bad, bro. I don't think you can have it.
Dude, does sugar go bad? I don't know.
Yeah, sugar goes bad. We used to work at video stores, John. Didn't you ever check a look at the expiry date on the Cokes?
I don't think they expire until the metal at the bottom of the can gets eaten away by the acid and sugar.
I'm pretty certain that the printed code that says best before date tells you way before that happens. Listen, usually I do a rundown of all the news stuff, and honestly, we're at the end of the year. There's not a lot of news that was floating around. We got a couple cool new trailers. We got the trailer for Miles Morales into the Spider-Verse Part 1 came out last week. It looked really cool. It was a clip, right, of Miles and his mom and stuff like that. And then there's a lot of clips thrown in from the first movie, and then you see a little bit of the new stuff. So that's pretty cool, coming out in June. We also got a trailer or a teaser for Barbie, the movie. I'm not sure if you saw that one, John.
I did see that. It was short. I was gonna call you up, Rob, and go, let's do a trailer reaction. But thank God we didn't. It's literally a very short clip, and you have to freeze frames in order to see guys like Simu and Gosling and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah. I thought the idea of it, though, kind of playing up to the 2001 Space Odyssey was kind of funny. And then we also got a trailer for Oppenheimer, which is Christopher Nolan's new movie coming out this July about the atomic bomb and the creation of the atomic bomb. That I'm a big Nolan fan, and I'm really
gonna say a big atomic bomb fan.
I love
blowing up and death.
Honestly, I gotta tell you, listen, everybody has certain kinks. Some people like feet, like Gord. Some people like mushroom clouds and explosions in the middle of
Stop picking on Gord.
In the middle of deserts and watching plumes of nuclear energy escape the atmosphere. That's my kink. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Chris Nolan films. So I'm looking forward to that. And then today, John, we got a 9.5-minute behind the scenes featurette on Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 that comes out this summer. And it is all about that crazy stunt that we've seen in the trailer of Cruise launching off of a cliff and then free falling, like skydiving. So
yes, he was doing a base jump. A base jump, which I believe is from a lower altitude than normally people do. So it is pretty dangerous. I think mostly reserved for army type maneuvers or something where they do the base jumps and stuff. But yeah, Tom Cruise is the man. Rob, when this Mission Impossible comes out, do you think 007 should just hang it up? Like they're done, right? There's nothing they can do to top someone like Tom Cruise.
I'm gonna slap you. However,
you can't reach me.
I will get through it. I will hit you. I do believe, though, John, that we when we reconvene in January, I think we are going to do a Mission Impossible movie once a month leading up to Dead Reckoning. 100%. I believe Mission Mondays, and so we'll figure out what Monday we're going to do it on. And every maybe let's just call it the second Monday of the month or whatever. We're going to review a Mission Impossible movie that leads up to Dead Reckoning Part 1, which comes out in July. And then, of course, I guess the bigger news, if we want to go back to the DC stuff, is, we talked about this on the podcast, yourself, me, and Stu. So if you haven't had an opportunity to check out our DC rundown, please do so. We talked, James Gunn's been very transparent and out there on Twitter, even today releasing a pretty, long toxicity, and hey, go ahead, throw names at us, insult us all you want. It's not changing anything. We're not going to bend to your toxic culture. And so, good on him for sticking on that. But literally, John, like 17 minutes after we finished recording our show last week, news broke that Henry Cavill was circling to star and executive produce movies and TV shows based on Warhammer. And then the next morning, he confirmed it with a post online. Was it 400K? I think it's called, right, John? Or
40K, Warhammer 40K. Yeah, there's a whole big.
Yeah, and he posted it online. And he says, "Hey, yeah, he's essentially developing this property, bringing it to Amazon Studios, so it'll be on your Prime network, movies, potentially television shows, and a bunch of other shit." So I'm not a Warhammer guy. People were going, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on this. But John, can you give me what does this mean for you guys?
Yeah, so this actually, I had a couple people during the weekend ask what the heck this Warhammer thing is. So Games Workshop produces a game called Warhammer 40,000. That's what Henry Cavill is kind of known for. If he's been kind of hanging out at the Games Workshop studio or whatever, it's usually playing with some 40K stuff, which is we call it the futuristic stuff. So it's tanks, laser guns, missiles, all that kind of like blowing up stuff. Games Workshop also does produce something that used to be called Warhammer Fantasy, now called Age of Sigmar, which is sword, sorcery, and fantasy. I don't think it's been indicated what exactly he's doing, but the assumption is that he is doing Warhammer 40K. Yeah, that does. I think it's a sweater. I think it's a sweater. Gord is saying that Cavill looks kind of like Steve-O in this light. It is also very unflattering lighting. You can see the shadows on his face.
The fact that they have the great big light behind him, I think it was probably taken from somebody, off the side. Yeah.
But there is a lot of lore on this. So there's multiple novels. They have an imprint called Black Library, which produces tons and tons of content and books for this. There's YouTube videos and even podcasts that basically summarize Warhammer 40K lore. We're not quite sure what exactly he's going to do. There's no like Superman like character that he could play. I did see Boss Logic did a version of him as Mephiston. He does play an army called the Custodes, which are these kind of gold guys. But what are the odds of them just choosing the army that he actually plays and making that? Because they are kind of a semi-obscure army. So most people are betting that he's going to be some type of Inquisitor, which is kind of like a Judge Dredd, like kind of like a secret policeman type role. So we'll see what happens there.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And I think Paul in the chat seems to be a big fan of this property because he said this whole thing means everything. So I got to ask you though. I don't know anything about Warhammer 40K. In fact, I thought it was 400K. What about, right? That's really
40,000. Yeah, Warhammer 40,000.
I've seen. Listen, I'm not naive to what it is in a sense. Like I've seen people online. They, the models. I've seen you and Andre have posted the model. Like you're doing the paint. Like I see it, and I know that you have your Warhammer gatherings at the store every once in a while. And I've been into the store when some of the other customers have come in and they bring out their stuff but how does this how do you think this is going to translate into a cinematic, whether it's a TV show or a
Yeah.
movie?
So this
Into
is this
cinematic.
to
I
get
do
into
have
this.
concerns about this is such a huge world and a huge property, and now they're making it for a screen, big or small.
Yeah.
How do you think it's
No,
going
no.
to translate?
Yeah, you're right, because it is like it's a kind of niche hobby. It is humongous in the UK, so I'd be interested to hear what the people in the UK are thinking of this news. Because over here we're kind of like, what is this? So it's only kind of like relegated to kind of us nerds or kind of geeks. But Warhammer or Games Workshop is the most popular of the miniature games. Like if you look up miniature games, they're the main one. But you're right, they haven't really forayed into the entertainment world other than you'll see some video games. So there's a bunch of video games that are starting to crack into the mainstream, and the last two releases of the new games have come in. But as far as content wise, there's Marvel did a couple comic books for them. They did Marnie's Calgar and his Sisters of Battle. But other than that, there hasn't really been much kind of step into the mainstream for this. So this is going to be its movement into that light that kind of brings it to everybody, I think. And so someone can always correct me if I'm wrong here, or I'll do some more net research. But yeah, it's kind of remained a relatively obscure property, but there's a lot to take from. They do have some animations and stuff on their Warhammer Plus service, but it's all still kind of homebrewish looking, so it's not like any major motion picture type stuff.
Right.
So it will be really interesting to see if this works. That's why I'm kind of remaining skeptical until they announce exactly what he's doing. If he's going to be playing a Space Marine guy, if he's going to be playing like someone, there's another branch of called 30K, which is the beginning of all this stuff. So they could, which is more ancient looking tanks and stuff like that. So they can go all over the place. That's why I'm kind of like, I don't know what's going on here. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, I admittedly, like I think Gore put in here is like someone in the chat, you talk about Warcraft, but like
Yeah.
got the
It
Dungeons
could be
and
that the
Dragons.
Warcraft didn't work, right?
No, and we've got Dungeons and Dragons coming out.
Yeah.
February to May, sometime
Right on the corner. Yeah, and Dungeons and Dragons has exploded since, like Stranger Things, all that kind of stuff has.
Yeah, but Stranger Things has caused Dungeons and Dragons to be a bit more mainstream, the idea of it. But taking a D&D property, making it a movie like this, you know what? You and I saw this in the past. We saw movies based on these properties back in the 90s and in the early 2000s, and it didn't work. I don't know. Have they been able to and I know nobody has the answer yet, but are they able to refine it to make it palatable and to make it good and a good representation? I don't know. And so I do wonder, and I almost get worried a little bit for the fandom that whatever they're going to do with this Warhammer property, will it appease the masses of those fans and bring in new people? I think it's a huge universe, and they're only going to take a small little nugget of it and translate it to the screen. And will it work? I don't know.
Yeah. If Henry Cavill is as big a fan that he's kind of leading us to believe via his socials and things like that, this could be a big deal for Games Workshop. I believe, I didn't fact check the article, but someone did post an article that said GW's Games Workshop stock rose like 20% with this announcement. And like I said, a lot of people want to talk about it. A lot of people were like, what do you think of this? So we'll see. We'll see if I think Henry Cavill has been championing this for a hot minute. So we're gonna see where that goes. But Rob, since this is a little bit out of your realm, any other thoughts? We talked pretty in depth about Henry Cavill leaving the DCU. A little bit in depth about like the Rock and all that drama. Do you have any other thoughts on it? I was thinking the other day, Henry Cavill leaving as Superman, and then I saw some clips of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and I'm like, Hugh Jackman had a similar trajectory, right? Like Wolverine, the X-Men movies kind of weren't great, but he kept coming back and doing it because I guess he wanted, ended off on one good one, and then he finally gets Logan, which a lot of people believe is one of the best Fox produced, I guess, X-Men movies. What are your thoughts? Did you want to see Henry Cavill get a couple more stabs at it and hopefully go out on a high note?
I did want to see it when it was when he announced that they were back. I was like, cool. I was excited. But I've always said that the DC EU, as it was known, felt very rudderless. It was all over the place, and I got Charlie Brown 8 million times, and
They got you
and
good. They set you up pretty good, Rob.
right. But you know what though? That's just indicative and reflective of how poorly managed the whole IP was. I want good movies, I want good stories, and I want a cool universe. I want to build on something. And if it means James Gunn and Peter Safran have to nuke, here we are back to my kink again, John. They have to nuke the entire map and restart it. And they're not doing origin stories for the most part. They're like, hey, you guys know this lore. Like, we don't need another origin story on Superman coming. We know what that is. Let's start from a certain point, from like a year 1 or year 2, and move forward. Mm-hmm. And you're building upon those other characters and stories and something cohesive, then I'm all for it. Like, then I'm willing to go. I've got Man of Steel. I have the Zack Snyder's Justice League. I have all these other movies that I can go back to at any time. I am prepared to move forward and want to move forward. And I just want more. I want more Superman. And if it means it's going to be somebody else and it's building on something, then just give it to me. Then that's fine.
Yeah. You made an excellent point during the other podcast. So if you guys haven't listened, listen to it. We haven't had much film representation of Superman. We've seen 3 different ones. That's it. Like, and how long has Superman been around? I did want to just ask. Gord made the joke here, but the Snyder Cut? You're actually a fan, right? Like, is that considered ending on a high note for you? I know you didn't really mention it. But would you have wanted to see one more? I feel like I wanted one more, and I did like the Snyder Cut.
I did like the Snyder Cut as well. Did I want one more? No, because he was gone. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the whole thing, is that once he left and all this stuff was just all over the place, it was piecemeal, right? Like, you're just, oh, that's okay. We got this. We don't really, we'll just kind of make it work with these characters that we had going. And it just felt so, there was no consistency in the level of storytelling. Right. Yeah. So, no, I mean, yes, of course, the fan of me says, yeah, I want to have more of this. I want to have more of this world and I want to have more of it. But at the sacrifice of what?
Well, it's like you can't keep plugging the holes that kind of pop up in your boat. At some point, you need to get a new boat, right? Yeah. I want a new boat. I don't know if that's a song, right? I want a new boat. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So,
I think, I think you're right. I think
I'm happy.
Yeah.
I think, and I would encourage people to go online and check out what James Gunn tweeted out today, his statement. I think it's like 4 tweets. You can see it all on Instagram on one page. Mm-hmm. But I think it's important. Like, I don't understand. Like, first of all, Twitter's a dumpster fire right now as is anyways, but I don't understand why the hate and negativity. I get it, man. You're a fan of Henry Cavill and you're sad that he's no longer involved. But like, these petitions aren't going to work. These, hurling shit at people, verbally online is not going to work. Like, you need to just accept shit and move on. We've become a society that doesn't accept anything because we want to pound our fists at the table and kick our feet and scream and shout until we get our way. We're not 3-year-olds having temper tantrums. We have to be a civilized, a bunch of fucking adults in the room and say, okay, I might not like it, but at least I still have this shit. I can still watch it anytime I want. Show me something else then. And so, the fact that these guys have to send out these messages to people saying, just cool your shit, man. And nobody's giving them the benefit. They haven't seen one damn thing that these guys are responsible for yet. Not one thing. And you're not going to see one thing until at the earliest 2024. Just give them a chance to do what they want to do. And if you don't like it, 10 years goes by like that. It does. That's the reality. You may not like it. 10 years goes by and somebody else is going to be taking the reins of DC Studios. And you'll be like, oh, all right. And people who like the James Gunn shit will get all pissed off. But guess what? It'll be in their DVD collection. They can watch that and go on to the next stuff. Like, you just, it's tiresome, right?
I think you are right that they have to just start the next phase, chapter. Not phase. I guess it would be the next chapter or the next arc that you wanted.
Yeah, the book is closed on this so-called Snyderverse, which is, to be honest with you, I think is a bastardization of the entire idea of it. But the book is closed. We have 4 more movies coming out in 2023, and we'll see what happens, and we'll go from there. But
Yeah, and
enjoy what we have coming
they're
out.
all up in the air. Very questionable the things that are happening in some of these upcoming movies. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with that. All right, let's move on from that. I think we've talked a lot about all this DC fiasco, even though I feel like it's the main thing that's going down. So I think we're going to be talking about it going right up into the holidays.
Yeah.
But let's get off of that. Thank you, Rob, for the news. Yeah, it's making it harder for you every week. Hey, I guess getting closer to the holidays, it's like, hey, let's make Rob work really hard for these to find some stories that are relevant or whatever, right?
Let's talk holidays, John. We're nearing the end of the show here. We got to talk holidays, man. Let's get people in the comments. Like, first of all, are you excited for the holidays? I mean, I know you come at it from a different perspective. Obviously, you're a dad. You're a human being. You love the holidays, I'm sure, John. You love getting gifts. You probably love giving them. And you got young kids, and I'm sure they're all super happy and excited, but you're also a retailer and stuff like that. So do you love this time of year? Are you excited for everything? Or are you just like, it's too busy, just get it over with?
So retail is a different animal. If you own your own business or if you're, like a go-to guy or gal for whatever company you're working for, this is going to be busy for you. This is the time where you earn back some of the lost sales or whatever they call it, or kind of like finish the year strong, as you would say it. But I love going to work. I'm in a very rare situation, or not everyone is lucky enough to be in the situation where they kind of like love what they do. So it's a lot of fun to be able to see guys and gals when they drop into the shop. I've mentioned it many times before. Some people are like, why aren't you off on your birthday or on this holiday? Or was like, but then I wouldn't have seen you, the person that came in and was like, what are you doing here? And last year we were shut down. We had to shut down for the pandemic. So we weren't able to be there to help people pick out last minute gifts or give them suggestions on someone who likes yada yada or whatever that they maybe are going into a world that they don't understand. Someone's coming in to buy Warhammer, Rob. I'm sure you would have no clue what you're looking for. You'd be like, I don't know, Henry Cavill plays it. They're little guys like this. Give me something cool.
I don't know, maybe Micronauts. I don't
know. Yeah. We're very fun to be able to help teach people and bring people into the hobby. And when someone kind of gets into it and discovers that this is a whole, I don't know if I would say lifestyle, but a very rewarding hobby. Any of these stuff, collecting toys, reading comic books, whatever. It's a lot of fun for me. So I can't complain at all. I was going to say something else and I completely slipped my mind. But in regards to that, being in the retail does take away from our family. So I am looking forward to spending some time with my girls. We will be off Christmas Day and probably Boxing Day, which is usually when we close up. So that'll be a lot of fun. I hang out with the girls. I'm sure they're going to get a ton of gifts playing, building Lego. I remember one year I had to build a Lego castle and the thing is like this thick on some of those bigger things. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. But Rob, what kind of traditions are you looking forward to? Is it very much like Christmas vacation? Hopping in the car, do you get a live? Who out there gets live Christmas trees? I did it one year, and the needle cleanup was a pain in the butt.
Well, you probably weren't watering it enough, John.
Yeah, but I did like the smell, the ambiance of it, and then you haul that carcass out there and toss it out. You immediately throw it away, folks, right after Christmas Day and get it out there so you don't miss
New Year's
garbage
Day
pickup.
I do on New Year's Day. On New Year's Day, we take everything down, put it all away. That's what we do. Man, you know what? I feel, and I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, John, but I feel that this Christmas things feel really rushed. Like everything feels like it's coming on quickly. And I haven't had the time to really delve into the Christmas spirit as normal. But I also know that I've got some things coming up in the next few days, so it's just a really busy time for me. But I love just sitting around, man. I love sitting around and watching those Christmas movies. I listen. I love listening to Christmas music. I listen to it all day long from like December 1st onwards. That's all I do.
I feel like you got to get that early start because once it's over, you kind of got to pack those songs up. My girl Mariah Carey rises to the top of the charts. Do you think we'll ever live in an era where All I Want for Christmas is not at the top of the chart?
Oh,
10
probably.
years from now, maybe.
But you know what, though, John? Like, I know that you're a big Mariah Carey stan for that, but I gotta say, the classic, like the classic songs. Like I'm
Yeah.
talking Sinatra,
Yeah.
all like that era, like the 50s and 60s songs. I don't know, Bing Crosby and all that. I find that those songs are just they make me feel more like Christmas than newer the newer songs, even the newer versions of those songs do. Right?
Yeah.
Like for me, my ultimate hands down favorite song is "Have Yourself a Merry Christmas" by Sinatra. I think Michael Bublé does a decent cover of it. Everybody else pales in comparison, but I find that those songs from like that era, they're purposefully slow. Like there's something about those songs when you listen to them that they're drawn out, they're slow, but they're not long, and it makes it feel different. I don't know what it is. But yeah, those are like I just love all that. I love watching the kids, opening up, the gifts on Christmas morning. When you become a parent, things are just a bit different, like it's, you start to live, like I love Christmas anyways, but then I start to live that even further through the kids. So no, it's just, I think this is the most magical time of the year. Admittedly, after January 1st, I get irritated and pissed, and I hate snow and cold and everything else. So, but right now, yeah, man, I'm loving this time. I just wish that time would slow down a little bit because it just feels. And I also think that when the kids are in school right up until like Christmas, like I think when you're off for that week leading up to Christmas, it's you can probably get into it a bit more because things have slowed down for you. You don't have the evening activities and this and that. But right now we're still in dance classes and hockey games and this and that, right? So
yeah, it is kind of if you don't have kids, they're going to school right up until the 23rd for most people. So you're pretty much doing your usual routines till right up till, and then Christmas Eve is your Saturday, which is your normal holiday anyways.
yeah.
So yeah, shout us to that. But I think I think we could all use a little more time, Rob. I could use another 6 hours a day. Would be fantastic. But we're having a good time with the time. We're having a great time with the time we have. And yeah, thank you everybody for joining us for this random Monday. If you guys have something you really love about Christmas, post it down in the comments. If there's anything in particular, maybe it's your cranberry ginger ale.
I will say though, John, when I'm at the gym, so I can't listen to Christmas music at the gym. It doesn't inspire me whatsoever.
It doesn't pump you up.
There is trap Christmas music.
Get out. Let's go. Trap your Christmas music. EDM trap music.
It does not work well. It's not that good. So that's the only time when I'm at the gym, I can't listen to. I gotta put on a little more hard rock to get focused on stuff. What's your favorite gift, John?
I was gonna say a little bit older now. So any of you fellow adults and stuff, how do you feel about a nice, good pair of socks for Christmas? Remember, as a kid, you would get like random clothing items from your aunts, uncles, parents, or whatever, and you'd be like, "Ah, man." But I feel like now, a little bit older, I definitely appreciate a nice pack of socks.
Wow.
No, Rob still wants gadgets and electronics and fun stuff.
Well, you know what? I think the reality is, and I think somebody had said this, way smarter than I did many years ago. It's like, I'm an adult now. I can buy the shit that I want, right?
That is a problem. Yeah. What do you get for the person that people always say this? Oh, they buy whatever they want, or they just happen to, when they want something, they get it for themselves, right? We're not saying that's a bad thing, but it's nice to be able to have what do they call it, adult money or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can just get what you need.
But I get surprised. I like it. Like my wife always surprises me every year with something.
Yeah.
And like last year, I got like a really nice pair of slippers.
See, you're laughing at me about the socks, and this guy's like, "Yo, slippers." Yeah,
but when you work from home and you're in your office in a basement, and your feet, like I got a heater that goes on next to me, like it's right there, John. I got the little space heater. But a nice pair of slippers, man, it just makes you feel all toasty and warm. Or you know what? Gloves or a scarf. Like I'm like, oh, like this shit I would never like get. I bought myself, wireless smart plugs, and I bought myself this and that, but I would never buy myself a scarf or like really good gloves. So that type
Oh
of
yeah,
shit I
really good
appreciate.
gloves. Yeah, really good pair of gloves is pretty sweet. Yeah, Gordon says he's living that life, story of his life, gentlemen. What the hell does he get for Sarah, who is his significant other? Yeah, I struggle every year with what to get my wife.
Generally jewelry. Stay away from kitchen gadgets. Is there anything though that this upcoming holiday that you're looking forward to doing, like something that you're like, oh, I can't wait to do this?
I have got a Top Gun Maverick rewatch slated for either Christmas Day or Boxing Day. And other than that, pretty simple. I want to play with some toys. You know, we got a lot of action figures at the store and things like that. It's always fun to grab a pile of them out and just toss them on the table. I do look forward to hanging out with family and some friends. You know, every once in a while you get a couple buddies over, or maybe you have that family that you always hang out with, or the cousins or relatives that you're the closest with. Some of our Christmases have got out of hand because the family has grown so much. Everyone's got like 2-3 kids. So doing the whole family together in one spot is a little difficult now. But it is going to be fun. Play some board games. If you guys are into board games, playing some games with your friends is always a lot of fun. A lot of new stories that come up from there. I don't know what to do with this Black Adam hat now, Rob. Like I'm like, how am I going to explain this?
I'll tell you what I'm looking forward to.
Big fan of electricity. Yeah. Sorry, Rob. You're going to do some reading? I know you're a big reader.
I'm going to grab. And actually, John, so we had a bit of an early Christmas with my my mother-in-law and my mom on Saturday. They got me Jack Reacher's No Plan B, which I think you listened to.
I did the audiobook. So when you wrap that up, let's talk. Well, yeah.
But I got 2 books that I'm looking to read over the next 2 weeks. One, John, is The Gray Man, the first book that this show was based on. The movie. I really enjoyed this movie, and I'm actually kind of looking forward to getting into this book. I'm kind of hoping it reads fast like a Jack Reacher. And I know that Scott, I don't think Scott's on anymore, but I bought this like in the summer, and I've been waiting to crack this sucker open and read it. So I'm really looking forward to getting in and reading it. I hope I don't get bored. Do you know what I'm saying? Like Lord of the Rings, I can't get into. People love Lord of the Rings. I want to like rip my eyeballs out. So I'm hoping that's not the same with this book. So I'm really looking forward, John, to taking some time and just like sitting and reading. I haven't read in a number of months, like even comics, but I'm still like so deep in these omnis, and I haven't even like cracked open some of them. I'm just
what's your choice of reading spot though? Do you read in bed? Do you read in that computer chair that you're sitting in? I always fantasize that I get one of those really cool vintage or retro like chairs with like a footrest, and it looks like a centerpiece for a room type thing where you just sit there and you're just reading.
We have a living room, John, that I like to sit in depending on the sun comes in that area. We also have a family room, like we have with a fireplace. So sometimes
the fireplace,
right? But I'm going to be somewhere else over the holidays, and so I plan on being if I'm sober, I plan on reading those while lying down somewhere. So
inquiring minds really want to know what type of slippers you got, Rob. Gordon was saying Sarah got him some North Face slippers.
Okay, Gord's not gonna like my slippers, but they're soft mocks.
Yo, those are some old man slippers, yo. If you invited me over to your house and you were wearing those slippers and going, hey, yo, here, you want a beer? I would look down at your slippers and go, yo, them some old man slippers, yo.
I know, but
you have the full robe get up, like out of like a 50s movie, like with like a red and black checkered robe, and the corncob pipe or whatever.
I have a pipe. John, would you like to have some sherry? So.
Oh my God! All right.
See, Gord likes them So there you go. I don't know, man. They're just they're warm as fuck.
yeah. I like Fraser's idea. He's got like some dinosaur slippers That that's what I picture, like Sarah walking around in like these Hello Kitty like giant like squeaky whoop,
Yeah.
whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah, those are not
And
cool.
then Frasier might have the lights on. Oh man, Frasier, if those dinosaur slippers make the stomp stomp noises, that is amazing. That is the most amazing thing ever. Yeah, so slippers, folks. I feel like slipper is a fan favorite here. Rob, what do you think of the gift card for Christmas?
Yeah, so
I sell a lot of them at the store. People don't quite know what world they're getting into, and then I present to them a bunch of choices, maybe, or they know straight off the bat. They're like, "Give me a gift card." They're going to come here. They're going to be able to buy whatever they want. I would say I'm a fan. Some years you get, that iTunes gift card or Fortnite money. I got Fortnite money, I think, last year. It's fun to be able to just go whoop and then just buy some stuff guilt free.
Lewis says gift cards are a good backbone gift. I do plan on trying to figure this fucking thing out as well. My backbone. With my old iPhone 8 Plus. Do you know that I was actually thinking, John, maybe I should just buy a Nintendo Switch Lite.
That's what I'm saying. If you're going to buy a backbone adapter, which is supposed to use your phone, and you're not going to use your phone, you're going to grab an old phone out of your miscellaneous old tech drawer. Why didn't you buy a Switch? Or I think some of the guys earlier were talking about the Steam Deck or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, gift cards. Yes. I actually like gift cards, but I like gifts. Like I think there's a healthy balance where you can get one, like both, right?
Okay, yeah.
I opened up a book and I got my mother-in-law got me a gift card to Amazon. So I do like gift cards. My wife and I, we both we have renovations. Hopefully, John, starting in the spring, and I'm talking like a full major main level blowout renovation.
Okay.
And my mom was like, here's a gift card to Home Depot because like it's a joint gift. It's just easy. Sure. Like, so that type of stuff helps. So I'm a big fan of gift cards as supplements to other things, but I do, John, I've always blown the budget, especially with like my kids and my wife. Like Kelly's always like, oh, our budget's X number of dollars. I'm like, okay. And then like I blow it by like 3 or 4 times because I like seeing wrapped gifts under a tree. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of that. I'm not a fan of the gift bags with the tissue coming out unless it's like a pair of socks. But I like
I would argue throwing the gift in the gift bag, that's phoning it in. I feel like getting a gift card that for something that the person uses. I feel like that's still putting thought in.
My mother-in-law got me a gift card from Heroes World a couple of years ago.
Cool.
Yeah, you gave it to her. She came to the store and talked to you, and you're like, "What?" Am I getting a blowout? You know what? My hair is getting really long. I'm actually getting it cut tomorrow, but no frosted tips. Sorry,
frosted tips.
No. Oh, now if there are any women that are listening to this after the fact, because I know Michelle's on here, I know Sarah's on here, but if any women are listening to this after the fact, or any of you guys out there, and your significant others are saying, I need to get you something. What is it you can get? Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0. I'm telling you right now.
Did we suddenly start peddling Manscaped products?
I'm telling you.
Should we also do a movement watch ad?
I don't know what we can
Athletic
do
Greens ad
list, but that shit is amazing. So I would highly recommend.
All right, now I have to sign us up for the Manscaped affiliate link because Rob is now peddling his Manscaped.
And I'm telling you that it's wicked. Yeah, so I highly recommend it from Robbie G.
I'm going to recommend the gift card. It's fun. I used to recommend magazine subscriptions. I actually kind of liked getting a subscription to something was kind of fun.
Playboy.
You could. Great articles, right? No nudity now. Very empowering. I don't know how it works now. I don't even know where you'd buy it because they don't have shady convenience stores anymore, do they? No, they probably do a shady convenience store still. I guess the Shoppers Drug Mart I go to doesn't have a Playboy rack up top.
I don't think Shoppers ever had Playboy magazines.
Oh my god! All right, yeah. So Sarah's already like, "Yo, too much, Rob, too much."
yeah, so it's Christmas time, John, and I'm not sure what the plan is for the show over the next couple of weeks. I'm taking some time off, so I'm not sure what your plans are.
Yeah, we'll see. Get at me, folks. If you want to do some fun movies, I was thinking maybe seeing if I can invite some people and give them choice of movie, but maybe we'll talk after Christmas. So this week, keep an eye out for our best and most disappointing and guilty pleasure movie TV lists on the Heroes World podcast. Definitely, yeah. Gord's saying he's got big shady convenience stores in Calgary. I would imagine a lot of shady stuff going on over there. But yeah, look forward to that. I think that's going to be
I need a fresh fade.
You need a fresh fade?
Need a fresh fade. It's
You
getting
need
too long. Too long.
Getting the Josh Brolin.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Getting the Josh Brolin, brush off the sides.
But John, let me just take. Well, first of all, to everybody out there, I hope you all have a fantastic Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate, in a
Festivus.
very safe and happy. What?
Festivus.
Festivus. Yes,
Yeah.
that's coming up tomorrow, I think. A very safe and happy New Year. But John, my friend, I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, man, to you and your family and stuff. I hope you and the girls and Lisa have a fantastic holiday season, man. I love doing the show with you, bud. So
yes, thank you very much, Rob. I was going to be cheesy and just go back at you, but yeah, thank you very much, sir, for always joining us.
Let's start making pottery together.
Ditto. That's Ghost, right? Patrick Swayze and
yeah.
Demi
We
Moore.
should do that. We should do like some promos for the show where we ape like movies like that, and I'll sit in behind you and we'll make pottery together.
No, we're not doing this. I'm not agreeing to the pottery making scene. But
we'll go to dinner and you'll have things. Your hair will be sticking up, and I'll be like hee hee hee, like that from Something About Mary. Love you too, Sarah.
Ditto. What? That's not our thing now? Oh, that's not our thing. All right. Love you guys too. It's always fun doing this. Thank you everybody for joining us in the comments. It's always a blast. We can just have fun. What's up, Paul? Merry Christmas to you, good sir. Hopefully see you soon for some modeling and other nonsense. But yeah, we are going to check back in with you. So keep an eye on our socials, the YouTube or whatever to see what's going on. Yeah, we're going to take at least a week or two off, and then we'll see when we come back what we're going to do.
Probably like the 9th.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah, just keep an eye out. We're going to have some fun stuff. I think we are going to introduce some more movies that maybe aren't on streaming. So maybe ask for an iTunes gift card or whatever on your Christmas list so you can rent some of these fun movies with us. And also Mission Impossible coming up. We're going to Mission Mondays, not Missionary Mondays, Michelle and you other dirty folks. But if you want to, go for it. Anyways, Rob, thank you very much. We are going to talk to you guys soon. Otherwise, we're going to be here all night. It's always fun.
I have a whole new kink. All right.
Yeah. I always like you guys in the comments. You guys are great. So we would stay here all night. But we don't want to keep you that much longer. Rob's got to walk the dog, and I'm sure you all got to get back up for work tomorrow. Unless you're off, then awesome. Thank you very much, everybody. So Rob, anything else? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm good.
Yeah, you good?
Missed you guys. See you everybody soon. Have a great holiday.
All right. Ditto.